Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 30-second Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I've put onto YouTube. This particular battle is a Rome Total War 2 battle, and as you can see, this is where on Rome Total War we actually save the games. And as you tap on each game, you can see the players who are on each team there as it displays. But today we're going to be fighting this particular battle with 3 Brotherhood members against 3 random Rome Total War 2 players there. As you can see, you've got Brotherhood member Uther, Brotherhood member Mystique, and myself. And here are the armies here. As you can see, the Rome army on the left is mine, and the Rome army on the right is an enemy's Rome army. And underneath my army on the left, you can see that my 2 allies are Macedon and Iceni. Now the Iceni are the actual, what would be called the Britons on the Rome Total War, on the original Rome Total War. And at the top of the map you can see that it's the Battle of Samadar Plains there. And as you can see, the enemy teams there are Rome on the right, and then they've got Iceni and Macedon underneath them as well. So you can actually see the factions there. And here we go. You can see my army here right in front of us, the Roman army. And there you can see the Uther's Iceni noble riders there. And they're actually hiding in the woods at the moment. And there's my army there, the Roman army, and there's some more of Uther's Iceni, and there you have Mystique's Macedon army there. And we're moving towards the enemy now, so this should be a great battle to watch. At this stage of the battle, I thought, as both teams have got Macedon, Rome and Iceni, it might be useful for you to know when they actually start fighting who's on whose side here. And if you notice here, the enemy Iceni army have got orange borders on their flags or banners, whereas Uther, our teammate, has got actual blue borders on his banners or flags there. If you look at Mist's Brotherhood member Mist's Macedon unit there, they've got blue borders on their flags or banners. And if you look at the enemy Macedon team, they've actually got orange borders on their flags or banners there. So if you remember that so when you see the actual fighting going on, you might be able to recognise who's who. If you see, my Roman army has actually got yellow banding on their flags or banners, and the enemy Roman team has actually got orange banner colours on their flags or banners. So when you see them fighting, you'll know that who's who here now. Although it still does get very confusing. That's one thing about the original Rome Total War. When they were actually fighting, you could always tell whose army was who, without having to look too closely there. And as you see, we're now moving towards the enemy player on our left, with maybe a view to isolate him, as he seems to be a bit far out from his teammates. So we'll move towards him and see if we can make him move off to the left a little bit more, where we might be able to isolate him even more. So it should be an interesting game to watch when it actually starts, when the fighting actually starts. At this stage of the battle, you can see Brotherhood member Uther with his Iceni army and Brotherhood member Mystique with her Macedon army moving towards the enemy Iceni army. He's actually moved a lot over to our left now and has kind of become isolated from his allies. If you can see me moving my army forward here, my Roman army forward, what I would like to do is cut off any approach by his allies to help him. So I would act as kind of a blocking army to stop his allies from helping him here, allowing Uther and Mystique to attack and hopefully wipe out the enemy Iceni army here. at this stage of the battle, it might have been a good idea for the enemy Iceni army to have backed off and tried to rejoin his allies, but at the moment he's just stood there and kind of inviting an attack. And so, as I say, if I can actually cut off the route for his allies to support him, then I think that that'll be our tactics there. Also in this game, this is the first game that I've actually put onto YouTube where I've employed the Blood and Gore app that downloaded from CA. So during this battle, you will see when I close in, you'll see blood on the troops and things like that, blood splatters, where you'll see I'm actually fighting here. But you have to get in very close, you have to zoom in extremely close to be able to see some of the effects there. As you can see, the troops fighting there in a close-up. You may well be able to see some blood splatters on some of the fighting troops there. Let's say we're actually closing in now on the enemy Iceni army there. As you can see, Uther's cavalry and infantry are engaging him, and Mystique's infantry just moving in to try and finish him off. Here you can see me bringing my army across now, and as I said earlier, as a blocking force to try and stop the enemy's allies from getting to their isolated ally here. As you can see here, my Roman cavalry are charging in. I'm charging my Roman cavalry in as well to help my allies in trying to finish off this enemy Iceni army as soon as we can. And then we can turn our attention to the other two enemy armies there. If you look at some of the dead laying on the ground, you'll see their wounds. You can see the blood on their bodies from their wounds. And this is something that you wouldn't see in the original Rome Total War. There was no blood or anything like that. And later on in the battle, you'll see a lot more troops blood splattered. I think as the battle goes on, obviously the troops in reality would get more splattered with blood. And as you see more close-ups later on in the battle, you'll see more of the blood and gore effect on the troops. Here you can see we've almost wiped out the enemy Iceni army now. I must say his allies were a little bit slow in coming over to help him there, but as I say, with my army acting as a blocking army, it kind of might put them off being able to get over. As I say, in this game I should be doing a lot of close-in camera work here, trying to show you some of the blood and gore. I think there's some scenes a bit later on where you actually see some of the soldiers actually being stabbed and the swords going right through the enemy and the blood coming out. Here you can see my army facing the enemy Rome army there, and as I say, acting as a blocking force. And some of Mystique's Macedon army is coming over. There's some of my slingers there, firing their slingshots at the enemy. And you can see the Roman soldiers holding their shields up for defence against the slingshots coming in on them. And it looks, yes, the Roman enemy Roman general now is attacking my force here. Now the attack on these elite Roman troops is massive. So what I would suggest anybody that plays this game is, rather than maybe stand in defence, it might be a good idea when you see the enemy charging at you for you to charge back, so you make the most of your infantry's charge bonus, because it is quite large for Rome. It's elite infantry units. Here you already see some close-in fighting here, and actually, if you look, you can see the soldiers are already starting to be splattered in blood as they're fighting for the that blood and gore application there, showing the blood wounds when they get hit and everything like that. Here you can start to see several soldiers really covered in blood now. From and you can see a cavalry units have just charged into the enemy ranks there. Be interesting to see how long the enemy Roman army will be able to hold out here now. Bearing in mind that basically the battle's turned into a 2v3 after we destroyed the enemy Iceni army. You can see a lot of fierce hand-to-hand fighting going on there. And as the fighting goes on, you can see more and more troops being covered in the blood in the battle. And even the horses as well, if you notice, some of the horses have got blood splatter on them as well. I suppose this all adds to a little bit more of the realism of the effect of battle when you see this. I think the most of the enemy Roman army now has been actually defeated. But we must remember that the enemy have still got a full Macedon army waiting to attack, a full fresh Macedon army. And as some of you may know, the Macedon pikemen, the foot companions, are very, very powerful in this game. So even though we've taken out two of the enemy armies, we've still got the might of Macedon to fight yet. You see over on our right, Uther's Iceni army are now engaging the enemy Macedon troops. So we will need to get over to help him as soon as we can. As you can see here, a lot of close-in, hand-to-hand fighting there, and you can see one of Uther's Iceni units is starting to rout. If you notice, the banner above the unit is starting to flash white. That's a sign that the unit's about to break. So if you notice now, I'm bringing my Roman army units over as fast as I can now to help Uther. If you notice, just before they charge in, they actually throw some pilers into the enemy units there as they charge in. And there you see the Roman units, Roman units charging into the rear of those Macedon pikemen there. Some more close-up hand-to-hand fighting, and I think the other enemy, the two other enemy armies now have both been beaten, and it's just a case of us being able to finish off this enemy Mastodon army now, and the battle should be ours. And I can see Mystique's Mastodon units and Uther's units. Now we'll be closing in on the last of the enemy Mastodon units now. And it'll just be a matter of time now until we've managed to win this battle by the looks of it. It was a very spread out battle. A lot of the enemy armies were, instead of fighting as a team close together, they were kind of spread out. And of course we were so used to fighting as a group on Rome Total War that of course we just actually took each of the enemy's armies out with all three of ours, so it was like kind of like a 2 or 3 on 1 army for each part of the battle. That's how we've managed to win this battle, through great teamwork and being used to fighting with each other here. I'd just like to say that that was a really good battle. I wanted to show mostly the close-in fighting in this battle, so you could actually see how the blood and gore application looks in the close-up fighting scenes. So I wasn't concentrating so much on the movement on the battlefield there. I was just showing you the close-up fighting scenes there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battle, and I hope you enjoyed the blood and gore effects there. And this is Spartan Commander saying hope to see you soon. Bye for now.